One of the biggest stressors for parents is helping their child get to sleep and stay asleep. Bedtime can be a real battle for parents at times, and today's guest is here to help alleviate that by looking for root causes and also how you, parents, can help relieve your sleep issues as well. Because when the whole family sleeps well, things go better. Hi, I'm Mary Jo Tinlin from the Teaching Your Toddler Show. Today's guest is Dr. Funke Alfalabi Brown, and she is a board certified pediatrician with extensive experience working with children who suffer from a range of sleep issues, including insomnia, sleep apnea, and behavioral sleep disorders. Her holistic and compassionate approach set her apart as a trusted expert in her field. Dr. Brown earned her medical degree from the University of Ibadan, Nigeria, one of Africa's premier institutions for medical education. Hello, this is Mary Jo Tinlin from the Teaching Your Toddler Show. Today we have a great guest who is going to help us with a problem that everyone suffers from, not even just parents of kids, but all of us, and that is sleep. So, Dr. Funke Brown, welcome to the show. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm a sleep medicine physician, and also I had previous toddlers, so I've been in that stage. And one of the things that's been my mission is to help families optimize their sleep so that they can thrive and reach their fullest potential. When kids are not sleeping, then we as adults are not sleeping as well. So I really kind of work from a family-based approach.
Oh, that's excellent. So for everyone, I did see in the notes that you sent, I saw something about changing our relationship with sleep. So can you explain that a little bit?
Yes. So there's been this old narrative. I think it's starting to improve where people felt that sleep was just this extra thing you had to do. And so a lot of us don't prioritize sleep, and it's for multiple reasons. Sometimes it's really because we're just constantly connected. Sometimes it's because we're not even aware of how important sleep is. And so really understanding how important sleep is and seeing it as this hidden gem and tool that we have that can help us to really be our best selves has been my mission in trying to help people really change how they see sleep
I
and
like that about
how
the
they see
hidden
its
gem.
benefits. Yeah, yeah.
It is something, I mean, like physiologically, our bodies
Mm,
change when we're sleeping, right? There's things that
mhm,
happen.
mhm. Absolutely, absolutely. It's not a passive process. Sleep is a pretty active process. There's a lot going on. Your memory is getting reset, your immune system, your hormones, so many changes are going on.
Wow, that's amazing.
Mhm.
And so one of the things that you have, and you have a book that we would love to hear about, but you talk about a holistic approach. So tell us a little bit about that. I guess that means you don't use sleep aids or you're not taking medicine.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm not a fan of that. I mean, they have their role. So I do have certain conditions where we do use sleep medication. But really looking at things from multiple lens, I think is my mission, and it's been my approach with my patients, my clients, and all of that. So we're looking at sleep from just even the medical standpoint, right? Is there a sleep disorder going on? Those are things that we know, okay, maybe you need medication, maybe you need surgery, maybe you need CPAP, maybe you need that kind of thing. You need some blood work to check on how well you are supported from a nutritional standpoint, because there's a lot of abnormal vitamin deficiencies that can make it hard for you to sleep. So we're looking at all of that. And then, there's kind of what we call the behavioral pieces. And this is where I think a lot of people have an understanding of. So it's the sleep habits, the hygiene, and, the cell phone use and all of that. So that's one bucket. And then the third bucket I call, or the third category, are those 24-hour factors that can affect our sleep. So if you have someone who has anxiety, who has ADHD, has all those struggles, they have their own sleep manifestations, and really it all kind of has this interplay. So we're looking at it very, very holistically. I guess it's the way we can address it. And then we're also addressing the sleep issues based on what we find out from those evaluations.
And how are you doing those evaluations? Is that in office? Is that something that people can do virtually with you?
Both, actually. So we offer, I'm licensed in a few states, California, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, a few other states are coming up. And so people see me either in person, so people travel or those that are local see me locally. But for those who, they're at a distance, we offer virtual appointments as well. So we have this meeting with the entire family and we go through a comprehensive sleep evaluation and then they get a roadmap as to what exactly intervention looks like, immediate intervention at about 3 months, 6 months, and beyond, because it's not usually just one thing. Over time, sleep issues evolve. So I really want to equip families with the tools they need if things do change as the child gets older.
Hmm. Awesome. And what are, I mean, you mentioned you've had children. We presumably people listening have children.
Wait,
So
am
what
I
are the
frozen?
common sleep issues that we have? I mean, clearly, we always have this benchmark of like, is your baby sleeping through the night? So like, what are some of those
Can you
sort of
hear me?
common sleep issues that children have? I don't know. Oh, shoot.
There we go.
Okay. Perfect.
There we go. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I'm so sorry about
It's
that.
okay. I think it's my connection is acting kind of
Okay.
weird. I'll chop this out, don't worry. I'm not sure where we ended up, but I was asking you about let me just start over. So I know that we are parents, we have children, we understand, the benchmark is your child sleeping through the night. So what are some of those common sleep issues that children have that
It
are
looks like
causing
you.
reasons? Still not doing it?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Okay. Dang it. I'm not sure what's going on. It's not, I mean, the weather's great, so I'm not sure why
I'm,
I'm having trouble. I don't know.
yeah.
Let me try again. And if it
So we
keeps
talked about, yeah, we talked about the where we stopped was the sort of the where how they could see me. So whether we do it in person or virtually,
okay.
and then they get a comprehensive sleep evaluation.
Okay, great. Um, Thank you for that. And then so for parents of children, what are
Yeah.
some of the common sleep issues that you're seeing in children specifically? I know you talked about anxiety and ADHD, which clearly can happen. And I'm guessing there's also physiological things, but what are some of those common issues you see with children?
Yeah, I see, varying ages. So depending on, since this is a toddler show, I see sleep apnea. It's not as uncommon as people think. So our kids that have snoring and they have mouth breathing and restless sleep, oftentimes when we do a sleep study, we might see sleep apnea. So that's one thing. Another that we see frequently can be insomnia. So a lot of the behavioral sleep issues. So the child that doesn't want to stay in their bed, that has multiple requests at bedtime and, is really pushing those boundaries. So all those things can also affect sleep. And then we see things like very restless sleep. A lot of children are moving around a lot in their sleep. And sometimes this is actually not normal. It's related to some abnormal, nutrient deficiencies like iron and things like that. So those are some of the most common sleep issues we see in the younger age group.
I had no idea that little kids could get sleep apnea. That always
Yeah.
seemed like it's an older thing.
Yeah, no, definitely. I would say, the prevalence is about 1 to about 5% in children of sleep apnea. So it's not
Wow.
it's not uncommon.
Oh, well, and so what on when we're not sleeping well, and if
Mhm.
clearly if you're waking up in the night, if the children are coming in to wake you up, now the whole family has gotten awake. What does that what happens to the family dynamic when people aren't sleeping well?
A lot. I think, most people are focusing on, yeah, the child, but also the parents struggle when their child's not sleeping well. So you may see kids with a lot of irritability. They may be sleepy. They may be impulsive. There may be, mood issues. But in the parents as well, poor quality of life. Most times, if you have a child that's not sleeping, they are, there's probably a parent that's there that's also not sleeping very well. So it really impacts, I would say, the entire household. I've had families where there's now a lot of strain in the parents' relationships because of the child's poor sleep. I've had parents who have had to take time off work because it was just really hard for them to navigate everything, the sleep issues that the child is going through.
That's really hard. I mean, it's really hard for a whole
Mm,
family when that happens.
yeah.
So you mentioned some of the things I would guess that you would talk about, but what are some of the ways that people can optimize? You mentioned like sleep hygiene, which I'm
Mhm.
guessing is like how dark is your room and do you have electronics and what are some of those kinds of things?
Yeah, yeah. So I would say the number one thing actually I usually talk about is consistency. Consistent
Mm,
bedtime is so important because it really sets everything else up for the day. So try to avoid sleeping in excessively. Try to be as consistent in terms of the bedtime and the wake up time. Then the next thing would be a bedtime routine, right? Those activities that kind of helps the child wind down and relax for sleep. And so it might be having a bath, reading a book, those kind of things. And then we talk about the environment. So that's the one you were talking about. So you want to make sure the bedroom is dark, it is noise free, it is cool, those three things. So cool, dark, and noise free. And then typically another thing I talk about is really avoiding technology before bed. So a lot of, times they may be on their iPad or their phone. So you want to limit that use about 60 minutes before bed, ideally, because the disruption from the light and all of that, and also the content that they're watching either on TV or on their phones can definitely impact their sleep.
hmm So that counts for TV too, not just home, not just phones
Yes.
or iPads. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly, exactly.
hmm
And then the last thing would be, really making sure you avoid any caffeine,
Mm.
soda, iced tea. All those things can make it very hard to wind down for sleep.
Well, that affects me a lot. I mean, I
Mm,
have to stop at like 1 or 2 in the
yeah.
afternoon and then I can't do anything else or I know I'm
Mhm.
gonna stay awake all night. Oh my gosh. Oh wow, these are great tips. What else do parents need to know? What else like I mean if I'm trying to ask like so if they're like you mentioned if a child comes in for bed, I mean, how do you know that they're not scared versus having a sleep issue?
Yeah, that's a very important question. So most of the things we talk about is around like healthy sleep habits, sleep hygiene. But beyond that, there's a whole world of sleep disorders that some kids may be struggling with. And sometimes when your child's sleep is off, it's just a symptom of something else. It could be a symptom again of, like you said, anxiety or fear. And so there are different strategies. I think the important thing is making sure that they are safe. So, how are they sleeping? Are they having a very restless sleep? Are they snoring? Are they gasping? Those kind of things. What's their day like? Right. So that can help you clue in as to whether there's a medical issue. Do they have teeth grinding? Do they have very restless sleep? And if they do, then I would suspect that those are medical issues
Mm,
that are impacting them. And then if you have a child who is, otherwise, maybe they have a lot of anxiety, and you're noticing that the anxiety is not just at bedtime, for instance. You're noticing this child gets very stressed out. Even during the day, they have separation anxiety. Then in that case, I would focus on really dealing with the overall generalized anxiety because it's not just about sleep.
hmm
Mm.
Yeah. And if people live outside of where they would be able to work with you, is this a question for a pediatrician? Is it an ENT? Is it like who do you go see?
Yeah, so I think your pediatrician is always the first step. And I always encourage parents, whether you think your child has a sleep disorder or not, you do not keep quiet because you're your child's best advocate. So speak with your pediatrician, ask for testing. Most states have other sleep doctors that they could refer you to. If there's concern about apnea, you can definitely see the ear, nose, and throat doctor as well.
Is sleep apnea, I mean, do you have to wear a CPAP or is there other things you can do for that?
Yeah, for kids, you hardly ever resort to CPAP, to the CPAP. Most times we do surgical treatments if they have big tonsils, which are the
Mhm.
tissues at the back of their throat, or big adenoids. For those who have, abnormal sort of narrow airway, maybe because they have a high arched palate or, their hard palate is kind of high, and so there's no room for their tongue to sit.
hmm
We may do orthodontics.
Mm.
So that's an option as well. And then
Hmm.
for those who maybe they have allergies, reflux, all these other medical issues, optimizing that can actually improve their sleep apnea overall.
Awesome. Excellent. Very good.
Mhm.
Well, tell us a little bit about the book Beyond Tired.
Yeah, so this book I wrote last year now, it was just such a beautiful experience to put that out in the world. So like you
Mhm.
said, there are not very many pediatric specific sleep doctors in the world. So a lot of people are at a loss, depending on where you're living. Some people don't have access to people with my kind of expertise. So this book really breaks everything down in terms of what does your child sleep? What's your child's sleep supposed to look like? What does abnormal look like? How do you actually get good sleep? What do
Mm.
you need to look out for to make sure that you are optimizing sleep for your child? And then I have chapters on, sleep in ADHD. I have chapters on sleep for parents. I have chapters on sleep for when you're co-parenting. So I think it's a really comprehensive guide for sleep issues that parents can use.
That's excellent. And where can people find your book?
So if you go to my website, you could find the link there. It's therestfulsleeplace.com. It's also available on Amazon, actually. So if you put Beyond Tired book on Amazon, it should come up.
Oh, excellent. Well, we of course will make sure that those links are in the show notes so people can find you, find the
Mm.
book as well. And before I let you go, what other things do we need to know? Anything that I missed that you would like to tell the audience?
Yeah, I think what I would say is a lot of focus is on our kids, and many times we as parents forget to take care of ourselves.
Mm,
So even though you are trying to get your child to sleep better, you have to realize that you're the role model. So your child is watching you. So you have to also make sure that you're optimizing your sleep, not just for you, but for the child that's watching
uh, good
you.
advice. We try to do that
Mm.
for our 17-year-old and he doesn't pay attention. Thank you so much. Tell us where to find you before I let you go.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. So my website is a good place to go. It's therestfulsleeplace.com or restfulsleepmd.com. They're both good, lead you to the same place. And then I'm on social media at Restful Sleep MD and also on YouTube at Restful Sleep MD. So I have a YouTube channel with a lot of valuable information. And then I also have the following on social media too.
Excellent. Great. Well, it's been such a pleasure, Dr. Brown. Thank you so much for all of your help today. I think the listeners were going to get a lot of great information.
Thank you so much for having me.
This has been the Teaching Your Toddler podcast with Mary Jo Tinlin. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you'll find us on our website at teachingyourtoddler.com, as well as on Facebook at Teaching Your Toddler, on Instagram, and on Twitter at Teaching Toddler. So join us again, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you so much.